flubaroo, basically, what you can do on flubaroo is whatever you can do on a Scantron, you can do on flubaroo and a bit more. So let's get started on doing flubaroo. To do flubaroo, to start off, we just create a Google survey. And then this time, instead of doing just basic survey type of questions, we're going to ask questions that like you would ask on a Scantron. So I'm in my Google account, and then I just click on Create. And then from Create, I'm going to click on Form, because we are going to, just like how we clicked a survey, created a survey. So give it a title. So I'll just call it flubaroo, and let's give it a date, 11/18. Alright, so here's how we go and create. The first two questions I like to typically ask will be, question number one will be the name. So the person taking the survey will write their name. And the second question is usually email. So let's go ahead and do that. And then here, I don't want it to be a multiple choice, but I want it to be a text so that they can type in their own name. And I do like to typically select this because I want this to be a required question, meaning it will not allow them to submit their survey unless they have selected that. The next item I'm going to do is I'm going to create another text type of question, and then this one will be the email. And the reason why I like to have their email address is because after the flubaroo gets done grading it, it can then send the students out their grades by their email, and having it here is perfect. And so I'm going to make this a required question. Alright, so that's my two type of questions I like to start off with. Question 1 and 2, and then now we're going to go into the actual assessment. So we can do a text, a multiple choice, a checkbox, or a choose from a list. Those are your main type of questions. Once again, it's going to be your text, multiple choice, checkbox, or a choose from a list. Let's kind of go down the order. Let's go down the order and do a text. So if I were to write a text, I could ask a question like, what is Dr. Chang's email address? And in this case, I have given you guys 3 of them over the semester, and so this way a text box is going to allow an individual to write more than one answer and still be correct. So as long as a student writes one of my 3, it'll be correct, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Okay, let's go down to the next question. We just did a text box. Paragraph we don't really want to use. We're going to do now a multiple choice. So if I were to ask a multiple choice, what is 8 plus 4? And then here are my choices. So we can write 11, 12, 13, 14, and that way a student has to pick one. And then we go to the next one, which is we could do a checkbox, and we could ask, for example, what colors are present in the U.S. flag? Red, white, blue, purple. So this way they have an option to choose, and in this case they would need to select red, white, and blue in order to get it correct. Okay, and so the last one could be a choose from a list. It would be the same exact type of question, so we're just going to omit that. So that kind of shows you how to set this up. For your finish assignment, you have to create at least 20 questions long. So let's go ahead and assume that we're done with this. And now that we're done with this assessment, let's go take a look at what it looks like on. So this is what it would look like. Perfect. Okay, so here's a 2. It has a little asterisk because it says it is required. So we just put the name, address, and then this can be multiple. And then this is, they have to choose one, and this they can select multiple items. Alright, so this is my survey and it looks fine. Now that my survey looks fine, the first time through, what I like to do is I like to take it and use that as my answer key. So for the name, I could type in either my name, I could type in instructor, or I could type in answer key, because that's what I'm going to use to grade against the rest of them. So I'm just going to type in answer key so it's very easy for me to know. And then I do want to put my email address. And then this, since this is the answer key, this is where I can give it multiple. I told you that there are 3 different email addresses which would be correct, and I've given them out throughout the semester. As long as you put your answer and then type in percentage or then you can type in your next one. And then as long as the student gives one of those three, that'll be counted correct. So for example, taechang@csun.edu, that's one choice. And then here's where I put the %, and then I type in or, and then I type in the next email address. And my other email address is tay.chang@csun.edu. And then once again, I just put % or, and then my last email address that I gave out was taechang68@gmail.com. So as long as a student gives any one of those three different email addresses, they would be counted correct. So that's a nice feature that for a text box. You can't do something like that on a Scantron. And here you give it the correct answer, and here correct answer again, red, white, and blue. And now I submit it, and this will go into my database. So to go see the responses, what we go back over here and take a look at our survey, and right here where it says view responses, I'm going to click on that. And once you click on that, now it gives me to this mode, and it allows me to see the answers. So let's go ahead and take this survey a few more times and just make up some things here. John@yahoo.com and taechang@csun.edu. And it's okay to give correct and wrong answers, so this is what we're going to do. So here's student number 1, and let's go ahead and do one more just so we kind of get a feel of this. Let's do Betty Davis, Betty@AOL.com, and let's do taechang68@gmail.com, and give it this one, this one, this one, and this one. All right. So now let's go and take a look at what it looks like that students have completed. Here's my answer key, the very first one. Here's my second student, and here's my third students. So now what we need to do is we need to tell flubaroo to run the script. And in order to run the script right here, once we run it, you'll see that flubaroo will be visible right here between right after the help. Currently it's not here. So to get flubaroo to come in, we just go over here and say insert a script, and then just type in what you're looking for. In this case, I'm looking for flubaroo, and I hit search, and flubaroo comes up, and I say install. Once flubaroo installs, then that's where you'll see the flubaroo come right up here. Give it a second, hit continue. When this comes up, we say we accept. And we'll go ahead and close, and there's our flubaroo. So now this script is up here. So now now that the script is up here, no matter if you have one student that took your assessment or whether you have 200 students that have taken the assessment, now we're ready to grade it. So what we do is we go up to flubaroo and say flubaroo, grade the assignment. And when it runs the script, it's going to first ask you, let's give it a second. It says right here, this is correct, this is correct. These are questions, but this one tries to say that it's not a question, but I do want it to be a question, so I convert it over to a question. And then I say continue. And then it's going to ask me, what do I want to use for my answer key? And in this case, I do want to use this as my answer key. And that's why I like to take it the first time before I even release it to students. And then I say continue. And now flubaroo is going to do its magic, and it's going to grade it. And there it goes. It graded my assignments for me. So this student missed one question, this student missed one question, and right now, for some reason, I've noticed this happen a couple of times. If your answers don't come in, don't be concerned. Just change the size of your window like this, back and forth, or close it and open it, and then the answer will show up. For some reason, it makes it look like it's not there, but the answers are there. Now that we're done with this, if I wanted to send the students their grades, this is how easily I can send it, because I already have their email address right here. That was one of my questions. I would just go over to flubaroo and tell it to email the grades, and it will automatically send out an email to these grades with their score. And when it emails, what you can do is you have an option of allowing the students to be able to see the correct answer. So if you want to give them the answer key, you just select right here, and then I would just type, if you want to type a message, let's say this is your final exam, you would say something on the lines of congratulations, have a nice winter break. Okay, and then you would just simply from here hit continue, and it'll send it out with the answer key. If you don't want the answer key, then don't have that selected. Alright, so that's an example of how the grade would be sent out to the students. Your finished product will be, I only have 3 questions actually, but your finished product should have at least 20 questions long. And now that we're finished with this, how would you actually give it to your students? There's a couple of ways. We click right here on share, and you can send it directly to your students here, or for the assignment, what we're going to do is we are going to embed it into our website. So if I were to embed this into my website, how would I go and do that? I click on the choose form, and this is the website that I would select. I would copy that. After I have that copied, what I would do is go back to my Google like so, and get in my edit mode and type in flubaroo and convert that into a link like so. Let's go ahead and convert that into a link. So you would just select it, tell it to send it to a link, and it is a website, so I would just paste the copied link that I have, and now that's a link that goes to my website. Or the other way you can do it is you can embed it. So for example, you can embed the entire thing by saying insert. For example, if you want them to take it from your website, then you would just say it is a form, and the one that we just recently created was the Google one, this one right here, and we say select. And here is the survey that we just created. So you could have it on your website in one or two ways. One, you could have it here, which is they take it directly, you embed it. Or two, you can have it down here, which is a link. So either way it'll be fine. That's one way you're going to have it up here. And the second place you need to have it is you do need to have it on your portfolio page as well. And on your portfolio page, you'll just take a screen capture like so, and you'll put it on here. And if you forget how to create a screen capture of this, what you would do is get back into the responses and just say flubaroo, give me a view report, and it will show a graph. And after it shows a graph, we would do a screen capture. On a Mac, you would do Command-Shift-4, and then you would just kind of take a picture of this item. And in my case, it saves it onto my desktop, and then it's just an image. I want to bring it directly into my website from there. And that's the completed assignment. So if you have any questions, please feel free to come by office hours or come by one of the classes, and I would be happy to help you with doing your flubaroo assignment. Congratulations.